Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahabushai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 9 to 10. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, See, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which is before us. And I opened up this video with these verses to preface a clip on Sincerely.Letty's Instagram page. And as we're about to see on this clip, she's going to go into several accounts of why so-called black people, so-called African Americans, who are really the children of Israel, of the southern kingdom, specifically of the tribe of Judah. She's going to go into reasons in the past why they were lynched by these so-called white people out here who are actually the biblical Edomites. And just remember in that Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verses 9 to 10 that there is no new thing under the sun, and that which has been is that which shall be. I'm going to go somewhere with this, but let's play this clip.
I want you all to hear 8 out of thousands of reasons black people were lynched, according to the Equal Justice Initiative's report of reported lynchings. John Stoner was lynched in Doss, Louisiana in 1909 for swinging the white man who killed his cow. Frank Dodd was lynched in DeWitt, Arkansas in 1916 for annoying a white woman. Ernest Green and Charlie Lang, both 14, were lynched in Shibuya, Mississippi in 1942 after a white girl said they were threatening. Oliver Moore was lynched in Edgecombe County, North Carolina in 1930 for frightening a white girl. Henry Patterson was lynched in LaBelle, Florida in 1926 for asking a white woman for a drink of water. Elizabeth Lawrence was lynched in Birmingham, Alabama in 1933 for reprimanding white children who threw rocks at her. Jesse Thornton was lynched in Laverne, Alabama in 1940 for addressing a white police officer without the title Mr. A black construction worker was lynched at Camp Blanding, Florida in 1941 for insisting that a white co-worker return his shovel.
Now remember all these instances. Now I'm going to go to a few screenshots I took that I saw on YouTube. And this is Daniel Penny, that Edomite Marine who choked that homeless Israelite to death on that subway up in New York. And this is a little clip from Fox News. I was scared. Marine veteran Daniel Penny explains what motivated him to step in and put Jordan Neely in a chokehold on a NYC subway. And here's this quote. I looked around and I saw older women and children, and they were terrified. And that sounds very similar to what some of those examples we saw in that clip on Instagram. Oh, those two so-called black boys were lynched because they seemed threatening to that white woman. Oh, the one Israelite man was lynched because he didn't tell the police officer, sir. He didn't address him as Mr. or whatever. The other Israelite was lynched because he asked his Edomite co-worker for his shovel back, etc., etc. Hey, nothing new under the sun. That which has been is that which shall be. These Edomites from the past all the way up until today have that perpetual hatred towards you Israelites. You Israelites consisting of not just you so-called blacks or Negroes, but also you so-called Latinos and Native Americans as well. All throughout our history, they found reasons to kill us. It's in their nature to do so. and they're going to continue to do so and find excuses to blame it on why they did it. Oh, he was a threat to the women or the children. Oh, I feared for my life, etc., etc. And now let's go to some of the comments that I also screenshotted from this little information from Fox News. From Danny Patterson, 977-4, I served with Sergeant Penny in the 1st Battalion, 2nd Marine Division as a 0351 assaultman. He is one of the kindest guys I've known in real life and a hero for sure, who strangles people to death, of course. And we know how you soldiers got down over in Iraq and Afghanistan. Hey, shooting up all them innocent civilians over there in those free fire zones. Let's see what Richard Pierce, 7819, had to say. Semper Fi, Daniel. You lived up to your Marine Corps oath. But what do people assume the U.S. military is supposed to do? Defend the Constitution and defend U.S. citizens, which clearly he killed a U.S. citizen. From a fellow Marine, good job. Keep the faith, brother. From Taffy B 4007, support him. He protected others from a deranged druggie. Hey, no sympathy for that Israelite that was choked to death by this Edomite. But it gets even better. Same thing from Taffy B at the top. From Daniel Porter, 1176. Nah, we used to wrestle and choke each other out for fun in the barrack. He would have known when to let go. Point blank period. This Edomite was a trained Marine in those CQC or close quarter combat type tactics. So he would know when to apply the right amount of pressure and when to let go. Hey, he tested out those skills on that homeless Israelite, put him to death. Why? Because it's in these Edomites' nature to hate you Edomites and want to put you to death, and they'll find any excuse to do so. Again, he was threatening old women and children. And Apostle Tahar had did a video on this instance when it happened a little while ago, and Apostle Tahar has knowledge in jiu-jitsu and some of the other martial arts, and said the same thing. This Edomite who knew these skills, and anybody who knows these skills knows when to apply the right amount of pressure, to make somebody pass out and incapacitate them or just completely kill them. But as we can see, this Edomite's still here and this Israelite isn't. And you've got all these other Edomites in the comments section bigging him up, supporting him. Why? Because, again, these Edomites in their nature, from the past all the way up until the present, nothing new under the sun, hate you niggers, you spics, and you tontos. From Sean the God, 45885, in reply to Dan Porter, 1176, who said this Edomite would have known when to let go. It's good that he didn't let go. Humanity is better off. And here's another reply, the little monkey emoji with the thumbs down. So what? Calling that Israelite that died a monkey, and it's good that his monkey ass is dead. A point blank period. Clear examples of this perpetual hatred that these Edomites have towards you Israelites. And no matter what you do, no matter how many peace marches you take, how many good so-called Edomite friends you got, if you got an Edomite wife or an Edomite husband, etc., etc., it's in their nature to not like you Israelites. We were separated from the womb. It was destined for us to hate each other. But let's get back into these precepts. Let me see where I want to go. I'll go to Ezekiel chapter 35. I'm going to start at verse 1 and jump around a bit. And the header reads, prophesy against Mount Seir. And Mount Seir was an ancient dwelling place of the Edomites. And just as Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, Mount Seir is a people before it's a place. So this is a chapter dedicated to you Edomites and your punishment and your downfall for afflicting the apple of the Most High's eye, the true children of Israel, again, consisting of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, the nation of Esau, Edom, man, woman, and child, and prophesy against it. which is exactly what the true men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers that come in the spirit of GMS are doing, by going out onto the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, breaking down the scriptures in 144% truth and clarity, and letting you Israelites know who you are, letting you Edomites know who you are, and letting you know that it's a spiritual thing why our two nations don't get along and will never get along and will never be at peace. There can only be one master and one servant. You can't have two masters. Esau's ruling right now while Jacob is the servant. But when Esau is taken out of power, Israel is going to be the master, while you Edomites are going to be the servants and the slaves. And then we're going to get our vengeance back on you in the kingdom of heaven for everything you did to us on this side. As it says in Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 to 10, he that hath an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. The transatlantic slave trade. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Hey, all them Jakes getting lynched, hung from trees for a bunch of innocuous reasons. And what else? That Edomite that put that Jake in a chokehold and choked him to death. And what? Putting somebody in a chokehold is what? Suffocating them around their neck, just like a rope. So you can say it's almost like a lynching. Hey, nothing new under the sun. Everything that hath been is that which shall be. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 5. Hey, and also that applies to people as well, because reincarnation is biblical. Those same Edomites that committed all those horrific acts in the past, hey, have reincarnated through the generations to today and have that same spirit. Hence, why they have that same attitude and commit these very same acts. And they're going to receive the judgments for what they did in their past life. Hey, some of them are receiving it now, but they're all going to receive it in the kingdom of heaven. Just like the children of Israel were punished for their sins in the past, breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments of their power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and went into captivity and then suffered for it to this very day. But this is Ezekiel 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. And that was after slavery. We were so-called set free with the Emancipation Proclamation, which that was simply a transfer from one owner to another, from the private owners of the plantations to the public owners of the U.S. government. And things got even worse for Jake after slavery. You had the Reconstruction era, the Jim Crow era, the Black Code laws with the Ku Klux Klan, the war on drugs, all the way up until today, where Jake continues to get slain by these Edomites. These cops putting you down dead in the street like dogs. They put Planned Parenthoods into our neighborhoods to advocate for our women to delete our children. Poisonous food and water to eat and drink. They push black and thug and hip-hop culture on our people to destroy our minds. And then what? Your average everyday Edomite like Daniel Penny can get away with killing a nigger. And all he has to say is, I fear for my life, for the women and the children. With your George Zimmermans, just many examples out there. Israelites that have been put to death and Edomites getting away with it. But I want to hearken in on that word perpetual in the Strongs, which is H5769, Olam, long duration, antiquity, hey, futurity in the future, from the past to the present to the future. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything that hath been is that which shall be, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient, world, ancient time, long time, of past, of future, forever, always, continuous existence, perpetual, everlasting, indefinite, or unending futurity, eternity. So a perpetual, never-ending hatred that these Edomites have in their spirit towards you Israelites. Even in the kingdom of heaven, when we have them as slaves, they're still going to have this spirit on us. But the difference is that they're not going to be able to do a goddamn thing about it. And this goes back to things much deeper than just skin color. It goes back to the fact that our forefather Jacob supplanted the blessing and the birthright to the kingdom of heaven from their forefather Esau. This is Genesis chapter 25. Start at 22. And the children struggled together within her, speaking of Rebekah, Isaac's wife, the children being Jacob and Esau. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 2 manner of people with 2 different dispositions, spirits, and customs and practices shall be separated from thy bowels. The children of Israel, who are the righteous, the sons of God in the scriptures, which even though you've got, wicked Jakes out here, Jake at the end of the day still has a conscience and feels bad about what he does. And if Jake were to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, Jake would be a completely righteous and perfect person, which in the kingdom of heaven, when we have those new bodies, we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments in us, and this planet is going to be governed in righteousness. But as for you Edomites, you're the sons of the wicked. Your spirit is wicked in you to do everything clean contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and righteousness. Hence why we see the world in the state that it's in. The alphabet people running around, feminism, whores, children out of order, chemtrails in the sky, pollution in the ocean, GMO foods, cell and Wi-Fi radiation. We could go for hours, days on the wickedness that you Edomites commit. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, speaking of the Israelites, because we're smarter and stronger than you. Just look at sports, for instance. Who dominates all those fields? And when you look at a lot of these so-called geniuses and high IQ people across the planet, a lot of those people are in West Africa, Nigeria, for instance, which those are Israelites. If Esau and Jacob were put on a level playing field, Jacob would dominate Esau. Look at things right now. You Edomites had a couple of 100 years head start on our people. A lot of our people couldn't even read in the last, 100 years? But what? You've got Jakes up in the government. You've got Jakes in high positions in these different corporations. And you've got Jakes living next to you Edomites in your neighborhoods in a lot of instances with better cars and better houses than you. A lot of Jakes even have Edomite women as wives. And look what happened after Jake got out of slavery. Jake had all the skills and the knowledge to build houses and communities, and they did. Black Wall Street, for example, Rosewood, and a lot of other instances out here. You had communities in Lenore, which I can't remember which state that is in, but just look up Lenore Lake, and they had communities there. But what? These Edomites got jealous, destroyed Black Wall Street, destroyed Rosewood, and that community that was in Lanier, they drowned that city out. It was known as a drowned town, which they built Edomite houses on top of and little resorts and stuff like that so they could ski and fish on the river. There's a whole history of drowned cities, drowned Israelite cities all across this country because you Edomites couldn't stand to see that these former slaves were doing better than a lot of you. But again, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Esau came out first, so he was the elder, but the elder shall serve the younger. Jacob came out holding the heel of Esau, symbolic of Jacob pulling Esau down from power, which is what we're doing right now. Beginning with the prophets, preaching this word against you, bringing these prophecies to their fulfillment, being the spiritual prosecution team, showing the world all the crimes of you Edomites through the scriptures, and then comes the judgment from the judge. Yahushai, the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, who has the appearance of a so-called dark-skinned Negro with a white woolly beard and afro, who's making his second coming to save the elect of the nation of Israel and take down you heathens, beginning with you Edomites. Just read Isaiah chapter 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment. And you Edomites are red, hence that term redneck. You don't have any melanin in your skin. You're clean lepers. Your blood shoots forth through your skin. Hence why when you blush, you turn red. You get slapped in the face, you turn red. You stay out in the sun, you get sunburned and turn red. And a lot of you Edomites are hairy. Shit, a lot of y'all are like goddamn werewolves out here. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man in the field. And when you think of Cabela's and, all the hunting and stuff like that, who comes to mind? Esau, Edom, out with the camo in the woods, with the duck calls, hunting the deer, all that shit. In Louisiana down here, its nickname is Sportsman's Paradise. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And when you go into that word plain, it's H8535, perfect, complete, perfect, one who lacks nothing in physical strength, beauty, etc. Hey, the one shall be stronger than the other. The Israelites are naturally stronger than you Edomites, better looking than you Edomites, and more intelligent than you Edomites, sound, wholesome, and naturally have a righteous spirit. But as it says, let me get it. In Proverbs, what does it say? One who is morally and ethically pure. The children of Israel are the sons of the Most High. Hey, we were meant to show this planet what a righteous life is and how to do things. But hey, our people have constantly fallen off, following after these different heathen nations and their customs, and not following after the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. But as it says in, I'm going to have to go to my Bible to find this one. I'm going to get it. This is Proverbs 12 and 16. Proverbs 12 and 16. Proverbs 12 and 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Hey, the righteous being the children of Israel, pure, wholesome, ethically and morally right, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. Hey, just like the serpent seduced Eve in the garden, which the serpent was a man. Hey, the serpent was a man, a part of a nation. And that nation, hey, they were the forerunners to you Edomites, just like the Adamites were the forerunners to the Israelites. Hey, they seduced Eve, Eve seduced Adam, and what did that lead to? The fall of the sons of God, no different than today. You Edomites come with your wicked ways and your practices, and you mainly go through the woman and what? Seduce with that American Babylonian Western lifestyle, and hence our people are walking around out here following after all kinds of lewd and disgusting acts. But, I kind of veered off a little off topic, but hey, as Apostle Tahar says, there are lessons within lessons. The main point I wanted to hearken in on in that Genesis 25 was what? 2 nations of people separated from thy womb. Hey, the one was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. And what was to say back in that Ezekiel 35:5 that had that perpetual hatred? Like I said, this goes much deeper than skin color or a Israelite man dealing with a white or Edomite woman. It goes back to the fact that our forefather Jacob supplanted the blessing and the birthright to the kingdom of heaven from their forefather Esau. Remember, Esau was out hunting and just, being a man of the field, and Jacob was cooking that raw pottage. And Esau came in and said, "Oh, I'm gonna die. Give me some of that raw, red pottage." And Jacob said, "Sell me thy birthright." And Esau said, "Oh, what need I of that birthright if I'm about to die?" So for some uncooked meat, he sold his birthright to Jacob, though it was all through the Spirit for Jacob and Israel to receive the blessing and the birthright. But the Most High put that in there for controversy. But now, fast forward to Genesis chapter 27, where, Isaac was getting ready to pass to the spirit world and give out the blessings. And Esau was out again hunting to get the animals to make that meal that Isaac liked the most. And Rebekah saw that Esau was out hunting for that food, and she knew, and she preferred Jacob. So what did she do? She took what was it? I believe it was a goat. Let me look. Yeah, well, she got some goat and prepared that meal that Isaac liked and put Esau's clothes on Jacob. So Jacob went in and pretended to be Esau and got the blessing, hey, to everything, to existence, to the kingdom of heaven. Jacob got the blessing instead of Esau. And then when Esau came in to, get the blessing, Isaac said, "Who is this?" Esau just came in and got the blessing. I've really got nothing left to give to you. So that's where this picks up in Genesis 27:38-41. And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above." And that's what we see right now. Esau living in the fullness of his blessing. These Edomites are in control of the planet right now. And with all the major resource trades out there, best believe an Edomite has their hand in it, in the dew of heaven from above. What Esau's got these airplanes in the sky and these satellites and space stations in low orbit. And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's how Esau gained the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, by his sword. And if you look at the history of these Edomites, how did they gain everything? Through military conquest, colonization, rape, robbery, and murder. And the innovations they brought were what? The gun, the musket, to the cannons, to the machine gun, the airplane, the tank, all the way up to nuclear weapons today. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that began after King Solomon passed away. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, "The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." And as it said back in Ezekiel 35:5, that perpetual hatred, so never ending, from the past to the present, even to the future. Remember, that which has been is that which shall be. Who can say that anything is new? There is nothing new under the sun. These Edomites had that very same spirit in the past. And with those clips we saw in that Instagram clip of those Edomites, getting those Jakes lynched for a whole host of bullshit reasons, all the way up until today. Daniel Penny choking that homeless Israelite to death and saying, "Oh, I feared for the old women and children." Hey, so that's it with this lesson. And with this lesson, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites, primarily from the United States of America, Babylon the Great. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.